User accounts are what extend the first arriving platform beyond your organization's walls. Instead of relying on only the big screen displays within your facilities, user accounts gives every member of your organization secure, personalized access to critical information from any device, desktop, laptop, tablet, or mobile device, 24 hours, 7 days a week. If your organization is not using individual user accounts beyond administrative users, continue to watch this video because the information pertains to all users, including you and your fellow administrators. Now, as an agency administrator, you have certain responsibilities. Those responsibilities are creating and maintaining accounts, assigning the right roles, and making sure your members have access to the content that is pertinent and relevant to them. So let's walk through how to do just that. It's important to understand as an administrator the individual roles and permissions that are available within the platform. Every user in the system is assigned a role that determines what they can see and what actions they can take. And here's a quick overview of the core account types. So your standard end user is someone who can view dashboard content on desktop, tablets, and mobile devices. They receive announcements, events, alerts, and other targeted content. They are simply a consumer of information. And also, please note that alerts do not push to your user's mobile device. And end users cannot edit settings or manage content at any level. Agency admin users such as yourself have full access to manage users, groups, messaging, content, and the administrative backend of the platform. This role is typically assigned to chiefs, administrative staff, or key leadership personnel within your organization. User account content managers can create and edit announcements, events, and other internal content, but they don't have access to device controls or other agency-wide settings. This is a great role for public information officers, training officers, or other designated staff members who manage communications but shouldn't have full admin access. Now, the dashboard content manager is someone who can manage dashboard devices, messages, and videos. This is the role that you would typically assign to your shift supervisors or watch commanders, or maybe training manager or designated mid-level supervisors. Now let's talk about adding individual users. To add new individual users, navigate to the users section in the drop-down menu. So you're going to go to the Agency Admin tab on the menu, click the down arrow, and then you'll see the users selection down in the bottom of that selection. Once you select on users, you will see a screen similar to this, and you'll want to click on the red button in the upper left-hand corner that says Add User. You will fill in the user's full name, so first and last, and their email address, which is also going to be their email that they will log in with. Then you're going to assign their platform role. Again, end user, agency admin, user account content manager, or dashboard content manager. Next, you're going to assign their dashboard access. You can give them access to specific boards such as Station 1, Station 2, training, operations, detention, detective or patrol, or you can also select all devices. The way to do that is scroll down here towards the bottom, and under the Devices tab, there'll be a drop down in this box that will list all the devices for your organization, and you can individually select the ones that you want that person to have access to. Or you can just slide all the way to the bottom and you click all devices if you want them to have access to all dashboards across your organization. Then simply scroll to the very bottom, click the green button that says Save and Back, and the individual that you just set up as an access user will receive an email inviting them to the platform. Or you can also direct them via direct message or email with the instructions on how to log in, get to the URL, and then walk them through the process yourself if you'd like. If you're onboarding a large number of users at once, new recruits, seasonal staff, or maybe a multi-station rollout, bulk user creation is available through the first arriving support team. You'll be provided a CSV spreadsheet template. You'll populate it with the user's information, so first name, last name, and email address, and submit it to our support team. This saves you significant time compared to adding individual users one at a time. As an agency administrator, it's important to understand that you can update user accounts at any time. In the users menu, open the user's profile by clicking on the edit button, which is over here on the far right-hand side of the menu. And once you click that, it'll bring you back to the screen we just had open for setting up a new user, where you can then adjust those settings where you want to change their role. Changes can take effect immediately across all devices as well. So if you're selecting new devices or other devices, maybe somebody got transferred from one team to another or one station to another, you can deselect certain devices for them and then add the new devices that are pertinent to their workspace or their newly assigned duties. Also keep this in mind for times when maybe a member gets promoted and needs elevated permissions, or someone joins a specialty team and should be seeing a different set of dashboards or other content, and admin needs permission to maybe post announcements that they didn't have access to before. Or maybe a member transfers between stations and no longer needs certain access to other boards. They need access to the boards pertinent to their new assignment. When a member leaves your organization or no longer needs platform access, you can delete their account entirely or disable their access to the platform. To disable their access to the platform, simply go back to that edit button and come back to this screen where you can see the roles and the permissions. Under the roles, just simply deselect all the roles that they have selected. This prevents the user from logging in, but it preserves their account history and the audit logs that they have created over time. This is highly recommended for seasonal staff, long-term leave, or temporary role changes. It's also important to point out you may want to consult your risk management team to make sure there's no preservation of records that is required, which would hinder you from deleting their account. If you do choose to delete a user, simply follow the same steps that we use to get to the user account list. And on the far right-hand side, you'll see the delete button. Just click on that button. And when you do so, there will be a pop-up window that challenges you and makes sure that you want to continue with the deletion. If you want to continue to delete, hit the red button that says delete. If you're not sure, you need time to consider it, and you don't want to take that step just yet, simply click the cancel button and it will stop the process. The admin panel gives you visibility into when each user last logged into their account. This does not provide any further information regarding what they may have viewed or otherwise accessed. A lot of people are going to be concerned about this type of history. I can assure you that all we capture is their login history. This is simply a record of login activity under Agency Admin in the navigation menu. Select Login History, and you can search. If you have a long list of people, you can actually search by name by entering their name in this search box, or click the drop-down button over here, the drop-down arrow. That should provide you a list of all the users for your organization, and you can select the individual that you want to look into. Or you can also just go to the list here in the middle of the screen and scroll down and find the person you're looking for. This is more useful than it might seem. At a glance, you can identify new members who've never activated their account, users who logged in before a major policy update, and personnel who may be missing important training announcements or other required acknowledgments and need to catch up on those acknowledgments. To see a more detailed login history for an individual user, you can simply click on the checklist icon, which is on the far right-hand side of the menu, and a small pop-up window will come open with their individual history. And again, notice that this says last login date. This will give you a more detailed running history of their login activity. So again, it's simply login activity of when they logged in, doesn't say how long they stayed in, doesn't tell you what they looked at, any of that kind of stuff. The initial list when you log into the login history section is the last time they logged in. To drill deeper and to see the history of their logins, you would click on that button on the far right hand side, open this pop-up window, and then you can scroll down through their entire login history. On the far right hand side of this login history, you'll see those green dots. If you see a red dot, that simply indicates that the individual attempted to log in but was not successful. This view is a great way to identify active versus inactive users. Active users are those who are logging in regularly, checking announcements, completing acknowledgments, and accessing content. Inactive users may include new members who haven't activated their account just yet and need a reminder, or users who've forgotten their password and don't want to go through the process of resetting it, or personnel who've left the organization but whose accounts never get disabled, or volunteers who maybe respond infrequently and are not as active in the platform and just need a simple reminder to jump in and view the content and click on those acknowledgments. And that is a understanding of users and how to manage them in the First Arriving platform.